Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, the enthusiasm is pouring out of me right now. I gotta contain myself. It is not every day, ladies and gentlemen, that we get to crack the shrink wrap on a 26-year-old game. That's right, 1998 copy of Medieval Merchant. Folks, if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know I do love modern board games, but I have a tendency to also collect some classics. I mean, we have everything from Divine Right and Magic Realm to Avalon Hill, Hex Encounter games, to obviously the more modern fare, Barcelona. Let's shout out my favorite game from 2023. But folks, every so often, I like diving into the past. You know, when you think of great Euro games that have influenced what we play today, we talk about Caylus. We do talk about Catan. We do obviously talk about Agricola. Kind of in the vein of Catan, Medieval Merchant came out in the 90s. And this one's been on my BoardGameGeek.com wish list for a little while now. Folks, this is in shrink wrap. Did I mention that? This is a shrink-wrapped copy of Medieval Merchant. I couldn't believe my eyes when I did a little eBaying, and this isn't the only game I've been picking up on eBay recently because I try to stay off there because I spend way too much money. But anyways, so yes, it's been on my wish list for a while. I've been debating back and forth whether I'd call this a Grail game or not because you can find copies of it. It's not the most common game to find, but you can find used copies of it. And what I was trying to explain earlier with my, love of collecting older games, obviously for most of those from like the 60s and 70s, you're not gonna find a lot of games that old that are still sealed or unpunched or what have you. So the fact that I was able to find, and granted this isn't as old as some of those, still 26-year-old old copy of Medieval Merchant, but finding a shrink-wrapped copy, yes, I would put that in Grail territory for me personally. Because while in the past I've been fine collecting used games, ideally I am willing to pay the premium to be the first person to touch these components. Folks, I cannot tell you how... We're going to crack this open right now. I know, it's already almost 3 minutes into the video. You're like, Rick, get on with it. Folks, this is so exciting for me. Oh my gosh, I've been obsessed over this game, and there's not a lot of footage on YouTube. You go to Board Game Geek, that is the ultimate global database of board gaming, and there is some pictures, there's some user reviews, some decent overviews. You go to YouTube and there are a couple, and I've even suffered through watching some of them in foreign languages with the English auto captions on to try to understand what's going on here in anticipation of receiving this game. I gotta say, the seller, before we even talk about the game itself, the seller was freaking brilliant. And I'm going to shout him out right now. His name is John Engel. Here we go. I want to shout out his website, usedgames.ca. Now, I found him on eBay. And shout out his email address if you want to get anything from him there as well, because absolutely he deserves it after the customer service he gave me. First of all, I was just excited that I found a shrink wrap copy of the game. Through the messages though, he wanted to let me know, just in case potentially if I wanted to collect this and keep this in shrink, he just wanted to let me know. The pictures and everything were fantastic. The pictures did note, where even is it? Like the blemishes in the shrink wrap, like this. Look at this little thing. This hardly makes a difference. But, he obviously wanted to call that out in case a collector truly wanted a perfect copy of it. I'm trying to now find what it was, because he actually messaged me and he's like, Rick, here we go. He's like, Rick, I wanted you to know about this right here, this little blemish right there, because it goes through the shrink wrap and affects the box. I was like, John, you are a saint. That does not matter to me at all because I'm going to crack this thing open and I'm going to play it. I'm just so thankful that I found a shrink wrap copy, but that's the kind of guy John is. So if you're interested in other old used games, definitely check out his website or reach out to him by email. I can't highly recommend him enough. But yeah, that was it, because how fantastic is this? He said that he bought it new. He's the sole owner of this game. He's just now downsizing, as you kind of probably read that in his little email, or yeah, that message he responded to me in, that he's downsizing. And this has been on a shelf in shrink. I mean, this is like a collector's dream, right? When someone does eventually decide to downsize and they had something like this on the shelf. And I know it's 6 minutes in, but folks, you can hopefully understand how super excited I am. And I'll put a timestamp, if I remember, to when I actually start cracking the shrink on this thing, which is about to happen right now. I'm just trying to get the tripod in place. Can you believe we have a shrink wrap copy of Medieval Merchant sitting in front of us? Here we go, folks. We're going to pop this guy right open. Let me turn this a little differently. I also want to get the glare out of here, because oh my gosh, I love the oldies. I love old school. I think Caylus still holds up today, and I'm actually not interested. After watching video reviews and how to plays and playthroughs of the new Caylus, I was like, nope, it's old school is all I care about. The original copy. I didn't like the changes they made to the new copy. So why am I saying all that? Because I still think classics like this, Medieval Merchant, can still hold up today. And everything that I was able to glean from the foreign language how to play video made me think this is going to be absolutely fantastic. So here we go, folks. The shrink is coming off of Medieval Merchant. Oh my gosh. This is absolutely thrilling. Again, we got to get this so that the glare is minimal. That is 26-year-old shrink wrap. Oh, I cannot wait to play this. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. You're seeing this at the same time I am. Oh, finally, a copy of the rules that I will be able to read. And there may have actually been an English rule book on Board Game Geek. I can't remember if I saw one there or not. But it doesn't matter now. We have it in our hands. And this is not a very thick rule book. This is like 8 pages. If that. It's 7 pages of rules. Oh my gosh. And actually the 7th page is tactical notes. And there's even a variant for 2 players. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to take a good long look at this. And this is what I love, folks. And this is the quintessential Euro, right? This is the dry, beige, dusty Euro. Classic with the disgruntled medieval male on the cover. Even though, I don't know, he has the corners of his mouth are slightly curled up into a half-cocked smile, like he knows something he's not telling. But that's just classic Euro, right? And it almost, you could almost think, if this was released today in 2024, it would almost be a play on itself. Because, you know, everyone makes fun of the dry, dusty, beige Euro with the disgruntled European male on the cover with some generic trading in the Mediterranean name. So this ticks all those boxes, right? The name, Medieval Merchant, with a Medieval Merchant on the box, with a beige map of Europe as the game board. I mean, it ticks all those boxes, and I absolutely love it. But can you believe we are going to be the first ones? And look at this. Look at this. Obviously, after 26 years, a couple pieces have found themselves punched already. But folks, we're going to be the first ones to actually get to punch these tokens out. I can't tell you how excited that makes me. I know a little bit, just from watching that video, of slightly how this plays. And these are You know, normally you want to think of area majority as in these city tokens, which will be placed on the board here, and each space is a place for one of your merchant pawns, but the amount of funds that you gain, your income from that, actually is dependent upon those not being filled. So the more they get filled, the less income you get, if I understood that correctly. But folks, here we go. First off, paper money. This money actually looks very interesting because look at all the stuff. Obviously, the only thing that actually matters here is the number 1, or, you know, whatever the case may be, whatever the other denominations are. This is crazy. Oh my gosh, do I just slip this off of here? Oh my gosh. 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s, 20s. Yep. These paper notes almost look like little pieces of artwork in and of themselves. Oh my God, they're double-sided. Now that is very, very cool. How cool is that? I know a lot of people have an aversion to paper money, and obviously you could use anything just as long as you had the same denominations, but this paper money for being paper money, that is very cool paper money. Oh my gosh. And then here we have the merchant shop pawns or whatever. I'll have to find out what they actually call these, because I believe, what did this say? This plays up to 6, I believe. Believe it or not. Yeah, 2 to 6 players. So that's exciting too. Here's the interior of the insert, which is actually a map very reminiscent to the game board map. That is actually kind of a cool artistic design. I doubt there's anything under the insert, but we just had to double check, obviously. That's the other thing, right? Sometimes you do worry about mold in these kind of situations. This looks like it was well taken care of. Again, John, thank you so much. He took such great care of this game. And we're going to have a lot of fun playing with this. These are some tokens. I can't exactly remember what they do, but there are a bunch of those. There are these, I guess, potentially like $100 or 100 points. Those are the classic, once you loop around the score track on the board, goes up to 99, and then obviously 100. You will take those. These are those city tiles with places to actually place your buildings. And I love these buildings because they're not the classic rectangular Monopoly Hotel style buildings that you see in a lot of games like Caylus, but these are squares. So they are house shaped, but they're house shaped squares, not rectangles. And I know that probably doesn't mean a lot to other people, but to me that is very cool. And then here, I believe, is how many cities or city spaces are still actually available. I believe that's these. So starting out at the game, there's all 20 of them. As those get taken over, that track starts to fill up top down. All right. Sadly, my phone is like well, we may still be okay, but I'm actually uploading another YouTube video at the same time, so it's probably double draining my battery. So before it dies, we want to take a look at the entire game board, right? Oh my gosh. How exciting is this? And this is a rectangular board, but it goes up and down instead of across. All right, let's see without the glare how this ends up looking. Oh my gosh. Yep, beige Euro heaven, folks. Oh my gosh. Look at all the paths. Look at all the cities. Look at all the city spaces. And as you can see on the back of the box in like mid-game status, this is what it's going to look like. So you can see the merchant houses on those in-between cities, but also on those cities there. And I'm sure maybe they're called towns versus cities or whatever the case may be, so I'm not entirely sure of the terminology there, but I'm super excited. Back in 1998, this was considered, it looks like a 9.5 out of 10 for strategy and very, very low luck. So here's what all the components are called. Game board, the branch markers. So that must be what these guys are. These are the merchant branch markers. Escort letters, city markers, 100-point tokens, a scoring track, game overview, and obviously game rules. Look how glorious that is going to look once it's out and about. Again, we get to punch out some tokens. What else? What else is there to look at? Let's take a peek at what this is. Oh, that's right. Are these the rules? Yeah. No, wait, what is this? Oh, introductory game setup rules. Ooh, very, very nice. Love that. That is so awesome. Folks, I'm just in love. This was so cool. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, this is exciting. This is Medieval Merchant, 26 years, and we have unboxed it. And folks, we are going to get this game played. Let me know if you do want a follow-up video. Maybe I can do like a rules tutorial or something. I may do that anyways, just because again, there is like no English speaking video content for this game out there on YouTube. So yeah, I can't wait to learn it and play it. All right, folks, that is exciting. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it. And until next time.